The following is an EHC media production.
Hi everyone, Ibeza here, and just want to let you know about my two YouTube channels that you might like. First, I have a WWE related channel. I play WWE games, I talk about WWE, the real product and all that sort of stuff. And the other channel, I just play a wider variety of games. The links are in the description of this video, so please head on over and check me out. Thanks very much.
You can't just say, hey, I'm a wrestler. There has to be a lot of work involved and a lot of training.
This is really what I should be doing.
He is known as Big Thing.
Big Thing? It should be Big Fat Thing!
I don't know how this loser got a shot with me. I'm the champ.
It's all over for you.
I'm gonna make you sorry you ever stepped in the ring.
Join two regular guys as they try to break into big-time professional wrestling. Rent or buy this hilarious comedy at FloridaBushLeagueWrestling.com.
The system.
Hello there, RWT family. This is your host of Whenxt, Brian Green, here to give you my NXT Takeover New Orleans review. I usually give you the weekly who, what, when, where, why, how, and what's going on in the NXT universe. That is what Whenxt is all about. I love to take feedback. I love to take any questions, comments, discussions about anything going on in the land of NXT. And this is your first time listening to the show, what I do is I cover the news, the matches, the results, everything that has to do with the third yellow brand in the WWE. I know a lot of people don't have time to follow NXT and what's going on in that universe, and they just kind of stick to Raw or SmackDown, so that when a lot of these people get called up, people look at these guys and say, I don't really know who an Ember Moon is, or I don't really know about AOP. Well, my job here is to tell you a little bit more about these guys in detail. But today I'm going to tell you about the Takeover New Orleans show. And if you have not seen the Takeover New Orleans show, pause this podcast, go check it out right now. Do yourself a favor of enjoying the best show that was produced this past WrestleMania weekend. And without any further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into the first match here on the NXT TakeOver New Orleans card, which was the 6-man ladder match for the brand new NXT North American Championship. This was contested in a ladder match, and our 6 competitors were EC3, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, and Ricochet. And originally, before this match took place, I picked Velveteen Dream or Ricochet to win. Now, I picked Dream just because his short history in NXT, every match he's had has been fantastic to me. I love his persona. I love his appeal. His in-ring work is great. I haven't seen a lot negative about the guy. I think he is ultra charismatic, so I thought they would reward him for his efforts and give him the title here. I was wrong. Just from the high profile that Ricochet has coming into the NXT universe, I thought that he would be given the belt. You haven't really seen many champions crowned on their first night in quite some time, so I thought that NXT might take a different route and do that here, but I was wrong again. Didn't pick well in this first match, but that's okay because I got to watch it, and what a match it was. Now, coming down to the ring, EC3's entrance here really turned me off. You know, he tried to look too jacked, pumped his arms out, bounced from side to side as he came down the ramp. Also, it isn't very cool to sing along to your own theme song, you dork. Seems like he had his theme song in his iPod or something for about 2 or 3 weeks before he debuted and wanted to sing along to it, and he got way too into it. That, not a good look, EC3. Adam Cole came down and he sold the anger in his face that he had to compete in 2 matches as he made his entrance. He looked pretty pissed, wasn't being super charismatic, and the crowd was very, very happy to see him make his entrance. And they were equally as into Cole as they were for the arrival of Velveteen Dream. They chanted Cole, Adam Cole, baby. And then when Velveteen Dream came down, Velveteen chants filled the arena. I'm happy for that. I'm happy that the crowd, the majority of the crowd, has taken to Dream as well. As Lars Sullivan walked in, he walked in on like a glowing orange slice. That's what it looked like to me. So the match started here, and these guys were fast and furious, brawling in the beginning. And one of the first moves that took my breath away was this springboard shooting star press that Ricochet hit onto the outside, getting caught by Lars and Killian Dane. This was kind of after everyone broke apart after their initial brawl. You know how these multi-man matches start out. One thing I remembered after seeing Ricochet hit that phenomenal move was the beef between himself and the Velveteen Dream. They were kind of shooting off at each other on Twitter. Velveteen Dream has been known to kind of trash indie wrestling and indie stars. His finishing move is called the Purple Rainmaker, very similar to Okada's name for his finish, the Rainmaker, the clothesline. So this could be the next feud, and seeing the flashes of brilliance they had when they fought each other in this ladder match, I would not mind that as either of these guys' next feud. Next highlight, Lars Sullivan hit a very nice pump-up power slam to Adam Cole, a swing power slam to EC3, before Killian Dane sent him to the outside and hit a nice suicide dive. These 5 competitors went on to fight without Lars, who was pretty much the biggest threat in this match. The power moves that he used, the offense, just throwing ladders around at everyone. He was the man to fear here. Nigel McGuinness said that he looked like Donkey Kong out there with the way he was just abusing these ladders and the competitors with them. And the power moves that Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan utilize onto the ladders, with the ladders, such as a military press. Lars picked up Dream over his head and threw him onto the ladder. A lot of the big moves, like the back body drop that was hit onto Ricochet, sent him bouncing off the ladder. These big moves gave the big men a purpose in the match, instead of just being known as the clunky, slow-paced guys who may not win. Throwing these guys into ladders and using ladders as weapons, it really helped them in this match here. Lars hit a gnarly backdrop on Ricochet, as I just mentioned. He sold this very well, and Ricochet, Adam Cole, and EC3 took most of the abuse in this match. Cole and EC3 teamed up for a quick second to immobilize Lars with the ladder in the corner. EC3 was pretty into the fact that he and Cole were working together, and he got a little too cocky. Hit a EC3 baby taunt, and Adam Cole was kind of looking at him like, "What the hell you doing, dude? What the hell's going on?" Hit a Death Valley driver onto the ladder in the corner, and then a very nice spot for Adam Cole. Super kick party. He hit Velveteen Dream with it, hit Dane with the super kick, hit Sullivan with the super kick. EC3 got up, he got hit with the super kick. Here comes Ricochet with the springboard into the ring, got nailed with the super kick right on the button. Beautiful. Now Adam Cole goes for the title, and he is stopped by the Dream. And Velveteen Dream proceeds to hit 3 Purple Rainmaker elbow drops in succession to Ricochet. He runs outside the ring, goes to the top, hits another elbow drop on Cole, does the same thing, hits an elbow drop onto Killian Dane. And these were all hit beautifully with fatigue weighing on him. I don't know how these guys had the cardio, the resiliency to take this abuse and keep going. The engines on these guys were just impressive to see work. Lars Sullivan gets up and he tries to stop Velveteen's momentum here until Velveteen sends a ladder straight into the face of Lars. He eats it gnarly. Velveteen Dream then climbs up to the top of the ladder, getting cheered on by the crowd, and hits the greatest Purple Rainmaker he has ever hit. The form was fantastic, right into the heart of Lars. This was a great highlight. I think this was my favorite highlight in the match, seeing this elbow drop. He jumped past the title, just seeing the air that he got. If I could get a still shot of how he dove off of that ladder, I believe that Dream dove over the title. He may have been able to grab it on his way down. Very impressive here. He reached up for the belt as the crowd cheered him on, but he got power bombed onto a ladder that was set up in the corner by EC3. Now, with this move excluded, EC3's offense up to this point was the weakest to me. He went to claim the title, went to go up and grab it, and he hit a TKO, which is a, Death Valley driver FU kind of setup into an RKO, off the ladder. That was impressive. So I was hoping to see EC3 get more of a shine in this match, and as his career grows in NXT, I hope we can check out his in-ring work in some more detail. Killian Dane takes out EC3, hits a ladder-assisted senton. He goes to hit a Vader bomb onto Cole. He goes to hit a Vader bomb onto EC3. Adam Cole tries to stop his momentum, jumps on his back, and Dane goes ahead and hits the Vader bomb onto EC3 with a ladder in between them with Adam Cole on his back. Morrow on commentary at this point is going bananas. There's about a 5-minute video of Morrow just going nuts on commentary online. You got to check this out. It goes through every match, so you can just go back and recall every highlight through Morrow's voice, just seeing him wave his arms and jump up and down at the desk. And I hope to love a job or a person as much as Mauro Naro loved his job here in NXT tonight. Boy, this was very impressive, and I think this was only like halfway through a match. Lars and Killian Dane faced off quite a bit in this match. They faced off once again here in the middle of the ring, and they used Ricochet to compete with one another. They tried to see who could throw him the furthest. The poor dude, Ricochet was actually ricocheting across the ring. I know I'm too funny. Sorry. He tried to come back, though, tried to stop Lars from reaching the title. And Lars went ahead and tried to dump Ricochet off of the ladder and went to tip him over and send him outside. Ricochet turned a negative into a positive, hitting a moonsault onto Adam Cole and Killian Dane on the outside of the ring. Very impressive spot. Quite a swerve here. I thought he was going to get dumped on his ass, but moonsault came out of nowhere. I guess when Ricochet's in the ring, you can expect just about anything. EC3 eats a shooting star press. He's propped onto a ladder. Ricochet goes to the top rope, hits a shooting star. He was highlighted very well in this match, and it seemed like the crux of his success in this match was the Velveteen Dream, who kept coming back out of nowhere, stopping his forward momentum. He set up Ricochet on his shoulders. He set up a ladder bridge between the ladder in the middle of the ring and a ladder in the corner. So you've seen this. They usually set up the ladders on the outside between the announce table and the ring, but this ladder was set up between the ladder in the middle of the ring and the corner here. Easy for me to say. Death Valley driver onto the ladder bridge. Gosh, I was so concerned that one of these guys was going to get hurt, but these guys are professional, and I haven't heard the news that anyone in this match or any of these matches tonight got hurt, so very, very positive news there. And this match was fantastic, and I think it began to wind down here. Lars hit a freak accident. So what he did, he set up that ladder bridge on the outside that I was speaking of between the table and the ring. Sent Velveteen Dream laying on the ladder. He then picked up EC3, hit the freak accident Uranagi slam through the ladder, crushing Velveteen Dream, breaking the ladder. Fantastic spot. Crowd went nuts. Made Lars look great. And there goes that purpose that was put into the big men having these abilities to put these power moves on in this match. Not too far from him, Killian Dane utilized another ladder bridge on the outside of the ring. He picked up Adam Cole and hit a driver. I don't know what type of driver it is. I can't think of the name right now. But Ricochet was laid out on the ladder. Dane pretty much drove Ricochet through the ladder with Adam Cole's weight, and these two ladder spots back to back were nasty. Here we go again with Dane and Lars facing off atop the ladder. EC3 interfered, prompted all 6 superstars to end up in the ring, and this is where the body started to hit the floor, people. And this is where the match started to wind down, which made me sad. Cole and EC3 go first off the ladder. They kind of take each other out, and the Velveteen Dream reaches for the title. Ricochet takes him off the ladder with an avalanche neck breaker, which eliminates the two of them from the equation here. Dane and Lars are left, and Lars hits a freak accident, the Uranagi Slam, off the ladder. Mauro says, I'm surprised he didn't go through the ring, and, this is a very great opener, but this could spell bad news for the matches to follow. Final moments of the match here, Lars goes to climb for the belt, and Ricochet jumps onto his back, and like a tick to a dog, takes the ladder down. He just latched onto him like a backpack. Finally, Ricochet shuts up the ladder, tries to go for the title, and Cole dumps the ladder over, and Ricochet bounces a good 20 times off of the ropes, while Cole reaches up to claim the North American Championship to become the North American champion for the very first time, the only champion we've had with this belt. And I think they made a great decision putting it on Adam Cole. With what went on later on in the night, this is how you build a stable. This is how you give them prestige. You give them accomplishments. You make them just hated because they did the impossible. They did what you thought they couldn't. You got to hate them for that, but at the same time, you got to respect that Adam Cole went at it alone here in this match and captured the gold. I'm going to rate this match an A. Nothing really went wrong. There was no downtime. Trying to think of one negative at the very least. I believe that everyone really got their own time to shine here. Lars breaking ladders, all the freak accidents he hit through the ladders, off the ladder. Killian Dane, his Samoan drop follow-away slam through the ladders. The Vader bomb with Cole on his back. Velveteen Dream was fantastic with all of his elbow drops, jumping off the ladder. And EC3 was the glue that held everything together. Nice character work for him here, trying to get everyone to fight around him. Ricochet, the opening shooting star dive tells me that maybe Triple H and the NXT authorities will not nerf his offense. Maybe he will be able to be as phenomenal as we've seen him on the indies, but that does require him to have a great opponent. It takes two to tango. And Adam Cole, his super kick party, the abuse he took, winning the belt here. Any victor would have been believable and accepted. A fantastic match here. The commentary team also added to this. I can't recommend you check out that video tomorrow enough if you haven't seen it here. The next match was for the NXT Women's Championship. We have Shayna Baszler challenging Ember Moon. All right, now this match was very old school. There's a lot of old school psychology. They had a really tough job following that fire opener of a ladder match. The old school psychology was present. Ember's athleticism in this match, she does that corner flip clothesline where she does like a frontward somersault. And the storytelling, I'm not going to bore you with all the intricacies of the match, but as it went on, Ember had Shayna's hand trapped beneath her boot. And if you've been watching the program, this is a callback to when Shayna has smashed Dakota Kai's arm that put her out of action for some time. And Shayna actually did this to Ember in their previous match. So Ember got her comeuppance and got to smash Shayna's arm into the mat. She stomped on it hardcore, looked bad. Shayna had a damaged wing. It looked like the big bully finally got what she deserved and that Ember was going to put her away. That's where I thought the story was going to go, but hey, I called Shayna winning this match, I believe. Unfortunately, I was correct. And how did we get there? Let's see. There was an awesome counter into the Eclipse. First of all, she did hit the Eclipse successfully earlier on, the first time she's ever hit it to an opponent who was on the outside of the ring. So to flip that distance and land and hit that move, that's impressive. The only thing I worry about her hitting this move her entire career is, landing on your butt night after night for years. I wonder if jamming her opponent's head into her shoulder also will have some wear and tear done to her. But for now, it's a phenomenal looking move. A great character moment here as Shayna Baszler went and rammed her shoulder into the corner post to pop it back into place. That shows the toughness, the grit, the resourcefulness of Shayna Baszler, and I love character building moments when they focus on the wrestler themselves, not the match that they're in, not the opponent that they're in, but when you get to see something new out of a wrestler that adds to their character. That was phenomenal. So Eclipse tried again here from Ember while Shayna's on the inside of the ring, and this was the first time the Eclipse has ever been countered into a rear naked choke. This was a great callback to their last match when Ember was just fighting and scratching and clawing and in this maneuver for what seemed like 5 minutes. And she got some sort of pinning combination on Shayna and barely survived with her championship, and she got laid out after the match. This time she was not so lucky as Ember passed out here. Shayna Baszler is your new NXT Women's Champion, and Shayna went to go celebrate with Jessamine Duke and Ronda Rousey, who were there in the audience. A bit of a shocker. It seemed like when Ember came to, she realized what happened. Great sell there. She was completely selling the fact that she didn't even know the match was over. And she saw Shayna walking away with her title, and boom. So, great finish there. I give this match a B. Not even close to the pace that the latter match had, and that's a little bit unfair to compare them to that, but they did a hell of a job to follow up what preceded them. So applause. But with Ember being called up, I wonder if they're going to have her pull double duty and apply like she's filling out an application for a championship match. But hopefully she does get her rematch clause. I've seen where Sonya Deville was battling Ruby Riott on NXT. They both were on Raw and SmackDown, but they were still battling each other in NXT. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they went ahead and continued Ember in NXT for quite some time as she challenges for her rematch. I don't think that they have any plans for her on the main roster right away. That's the issue with call-ups. You know, we want to see them work. We want to see them do great. We want to see them have competitive matches with everyone. But you don't want them to be a low-tier wrestler who is just on television every week to just lose in a match. No offense to Heath Slater and Rhino, but that's what they're there for now. And we don't want to see Velveteen called up. We don't want to see Ember called up just to, have 4-minute nothing matches that don't go anywhere. So we'll see what happens. But I imagine if they did have a third match, they should have a stipulation. So I pose the question to you guys. What do you think the stipulation should be in a third match between Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon? Match number 3 was for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This was the Authors of Pain versus Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne versus the Undisputed Era, represented by Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly due to Bobby Fish's injury. Remembering this match just without going back, looking at notes or anything, I originally gave it a B grade. Tried to take notes, tried to remember the highlights, the high spots, and all that jazz. And I couldn't come up with much. But here I sit today on my day off, kind of watching these matches individually, breaking it up and recording my thoughts immediately after. I gave this match an A. This match was insanely great. It could main event any show, hands down. Very glad that I gave myself the option to go back and rewatch it because this was fantastic. This was brutal, this was intense, it was stiff. There was storytelling, there was some shockers, everything you would want out of a WWE match. So let's get into it. I'll try to tell you what happened here. Some highlights. The AOP originally disposed of everyone in the beginning, and they made the first major power play in the match by putting Adam Cole through the announce desk, and Adam Cole did not come back into this match at all after this point. He was done. He sold his injuries well, coming down to the ring, had a wrap around his midsection, was walking gingerly, and after he got put through the table, we did not see him in the ring at all. Kyle O'Reilly threw some vicious strikes and submission holds against Pete Dunne, who threw some back at him, and man, I would love to see that singles match. And following what happened at the end of this match, I'm sure we will get it at some point in time. This match broke down into a tornado style of match, even though there were supposed to be tags in and out, but that's boring. I'm sure everyone appreciated the leniency that they had in this match early on. A great spot in the match where Kyle O'Reilly traps Roderick Strong in a triangle choke with his legs, and as Akam runs into the ring to try to run interference, Kyle puts Akam in an ankle lock. I don't remember the last time I saw one guy put two different submissions onto two different opponents at the same time. I mean, we've seen the Stackalade by Rusev, how he has two people in that submission at the same time, but to have two unique submissions on two unique opponents, that was pretty cool to see. I would have missed that if I didn't rewatch this match. So there are tags between the legal men. You see Razor and Akam switching tags. You see Roderick and Dunn making tags. You know, the match is kept in order as far as who the legal men were. It was just so fast paced that I originally couldn't tell. There's a hilarious spot where Kyle O'Reilly takes a German suplex. He gets up, tries to Hulk up, and just loses all energy and tumbles backwards outside of the ring. The swag on this guy, as he strums the title belts during his entrance, the stride he has when he's walking down the ramp, he's quickly becoming a favorite of mine. Pete Dunne gets a hot tag, and his sequence is great. He does the Daniel Bryan backflip into the corner, into a German suplex on Kyle O'Reilly, who avoids it with a standing switch, goes for his own German on Dunn. Dunn flips over and lands on his feet. And again, you see how Kyle O'Reilly likes to put on a show. He's sitting there laughing on the mat, thinking that he suplexed Dunn until he takes a roundhouse kick to the side of the dome. Countered a power slam from Razor into a tornado DDT for a near fall. And at this point, Pete Dunne had the most energy out of anyone left in the match. And again, you see him trading strikes with Kyle O'Reilly in the center of the ring. The crowd was hot for that, and they both go at it until Akam runs in, double lariats to both to end the volley between the two of them. The Authors of Pain are up. They have control of this match, and they hit a super collider. They have Kyle O'Reilly and Dunn up in powerbomb positions, collide them into each other, throw them down on the mat, and Kyle O'Reilly gets hit with the last chapter, the side Russian leg sweep clothesline combination. Roderick Strong breaks up the nearest fall in this match. Roderick Strong then becomes the legal man. He hits a beautiful Olympic slam onto Akam. And I'm pretty sure that was Akam. Their tattoos help me tell the difference, but now I've kind of forgotten who was more tattooed out of the two of them. I want to say that Razor has that pec tattoo. Roderick Strong and Dunn hit the double team bitter end onto Razor for a near fall. And Roderick Strong takes out Akam on the outside by sending him crashing into the ring steps. Pete Dunne is the legal man, going up against Kyle O'Reilly. Everyone else is down on the outside, so whoever gets the better of this exchange here most likely would have won the match. And Pete Dunne hits the bitter end on Kyle O'Reilly eventually, goes for the fall, 1, 2, boom. Roderick Strong stomps onto Pete Dunne's head, picks him up, hits the end of Heartache, and he throws Kyle O'Reilly onto Pete Dunne for the 3 count to give the Undisputed Era the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Cup, as well as their retention of the NXT Tag Team Championships. What a shocker. I loved it. I screamed out, no. I usually see heel turns coming. I usually see them. But I did not expect Roderick to turn at all. But for him to go through a heel turn here, it completely makes sense. You know, I love how he finally joined them after about 6 months of them trying to get him in their group. Originally, he declined and he went his own way, tried to win the Cruiserweight Championship, got knocked out of the tournament. Tried to win the Tag Team Championships, and I believe he was unsuccessful there. I think I meant to say the United Kingdom Championship against Pete Dunne. I don't know if they've had a solo shot at the tag titles at all. I can't recall at this point in time, but it's sensible. It makes sense why this guy turned heel. He's been unsuccessful. He's pissed off. He has a family to feed. It makes sense. And congratulations to the Undisputed Era for holding just about all the gold they can hold at this point in the NXT universe. All right, and we have main event time for the NXT Championship. We have Aleister Black challenging against the champion Andrade Cien Almas. And of course, he has the damn fine Zelina Vega accompanying him. So, you know who else in this match should be called up and deserves some praise? The producer of the video package. Hearing Black speak here, he can deliver a great message in a promo. You know, he didn't do that bad at all with the live promos when he was in ring, facing off against Zelina Vega, when he was introducing Candice LeRae, who came out to whoop her ass. You know, over time, I was afraid that when he began to speak, that the allure and mystery behind his character would fade, but the messages he delivers and the way he delivers it, it's unique. This guy is a star. This match is actually a callback and a rematch because Black's debut match in NXT, he defeated Andrade. Aleister Black is actually undefeated in one-on-one competition. His only loss came in a fatal four-way match for the NXT Championship. Out they come. Zelina Vega is hot, just saying. As the match went on, Black was pretty pissed at the ambush that Andrade put on him a few weeks ago backstage, so he came right out of the gate with a big boot, like a millisecond after the bell rang, just chased Andrade to the outside. And he almost messed up his moonsault where he flips over and lands and sits in the ring, but he kind of overshot it and landed as he was, in a football sort of position to start a play. He saw Almas running around the ring, took one gander at him, jumped outside, and with a complete trust in his ability and no fear at all, he hit a perfect moonsault, springboarding to the outside. And Black was hot. You know, he was really angry fresh off of that ambush, and the pace was quick here in a hurry. With the ref distracted, Zelina Vega hit another flawless Hurricanrana. She's hit this before on Gargano, maybe a few other folks. He sent Black into the ring steps, and this is the first event of interference from Zelina in this match. It helps Andrade control the match early on for a few moments, but the momentum swings back and forth without warning or prejudice in this match. These guys go blow for blow, hold for hold, and there is not a moment where you are bored. Almas is criminally underrated. He's working the arm in this match. Very old school psychology, I like that. With dynamic maneuvers, as well as basic chin locks and arm bars. But, you know, the dynamic maneuvers he does do to target the arm and the power moves to keep the match interesting. The high spots are all there, everything you need. He's very well-rounded, Andrade is. Aleister Black eventually counters his offense with the springboard into a bicycle knee strike. Then he goes on to have a showcase, a flurry, as you will, of his kickboxing background. Nigel McGuinness says on commentary that some of the best kickboxers in the world have come from Amsterdam. And this is just another thing that makes Aleister Black the coolest guy on the NXT roster, because he's from Amsterdam, dude. Some great presence of mind is shown here. Almas goes for a top rope moonsault as he has Aleister Black grounded in the center of the ring. Almas is mid-move and he notices that Black has rolled out of the way. So he hits the top rope moonsault, lands on his feet, then hits a standing moonsault, landing on Black, who moved out of the way. So that was very great wherewithal, very great athleticism, and it's a great reminder of why they put that championship on him. This move was done with grace, and it was super impressive. They continue to trade control of the match here. They trade strikes back and forth. I'd love to see these guys have a kickboxing match or like a street fight. These are great strikers that think alike, and they knock each other out with roundhouse kicks simultaneously, so a lot of great drama there. There's a great line on commentary where Mauro thinks that they're at the count of 8, but they're really at the count of 6. So he tells Nigel, I wasn't in school that day. They taught us to count to 10, Nigel. There's a springboard corkscrew plancha to the outside from Andrade onto Aleister, and it looked great. I'm very happy that Almas isn't under 206 pounds, because with the high flying he was doing in this match, there's a certain roster that would be happy to have him there. But no, he deserves to be in higher, prominent, prestigious matches based off of his ability, and that isn't a knock on 205 Live. Aleister Black continues to fight, so Vega grabs the title as a distraction and tries to bring it into the ring. The referee, what the hell you doing? And as he goes to put the title belt away, Vega hits a Spike Rana, You know, like how Rob Van Dam used to sell RKOs in the back of the day, flipping on the top of his head. Same thing that Aleister Black did here, selling very well for the petite Zelina Vega. Hammerlock DDT attempt from Almas now. This was countered into a pin, followed by a sick Black Mass kick, and I thought this was it. I thought that was ball game. And this was a fall that was very dramatic. Vega put Black's foot on the rope. She really is the fly in the ointment here for Aleister Black, and I totally stole that line from Mauro Ranallo because his barbs are very, very funny to me. Vega again grabs Black's leg as he goes for a dive onto Almas on the outside, and Almas trips him up, gets him caught up into the turnbuckle. Almas takes advantage and hits a double stomp onto the right deltoid of Aleister Black, crushing him on the apron. This was Alberto's old move. Maybe this is a little nod to him. And speaking of Alberto, I heard rumors of them trying to bring him back. They don't need to bring Alberto back. If you want a Latin star, someone who is athletic, someone who is appealing, someone who is attractive and can do well, you have one right here in NXT. Don't bring that joke of a man back to your roster so he can cause havoc amongst the company. I don't think any fan would really welcome back on an Alberto with open arms. Continuing on here with the match, it's undeniable that both men are deserving of the title, so whoever won, I'd be thrilled with. Aleister Black is set up against the LED board on the apron, and he eats a Meteora, a double running knee strike, crushing him between Almas and the LED board. He did this to Gargano back at their championship match, and just the sound, the crunch of both of their bodies against the LED board, it was gnarly. Went for a near fall here. It did not put Aleister Black away. Almost went for the draping hammerlock DDT. That also put Gargano away, but he was thrown to the outside, and Aleister Black hit a tope con hero, and he threw Andrade back into the ring. You know, and WrestleMania weekend, a lot of these superstars get that special video game-like recovery because Andrade got right back up, hit his finisher, the hammerlock DDT, for an even more dramatic near fall because I thought it was over then as well. These guys had the ability to make you feel like the match was ending at any point in time because they put these special moves, these pinning combos, these dramatic spots just about everywhere in this match. So Vega got frustrated that almost his best shot couldn't do the trick. So for the 5th time in this match, she goes for a crossbody onto Aleister, but he ducks it and almost catches her in his arms. And being unprotected, he eats a Black Mass kick with precision to his dome. As Black goes for the pin, he takes the championship 1, 2, 3, and Aleister Black is your new NXT championship. Zelina went to the well one too many times and cost her man the title. So congratulations on Aleister winning the belt. But the only knock I have here at the end of the match is seeing Aleister smile. I hope this was the only time we saw him smile. I bet you couldn't help it. You just won a world championship, so I can't blame him for that. You know, congratulations. There was actually something that I came across on the internet. Maybe this is an absolute great reason why he was smiling. Aleister was very emotional about his win after the event, so he went online onto Instagram, and I'm going to read his post here in its entirety because it was very great words from Aleister Black. So this is all from Aleister. Now that I have had time to process the last couple of days and specifically take over New Orleans, I wanted to sit down, literally, and type a few words. I have no idea where I will go with this, but I felt the need to do so. Also, Instagram will undoubtedly annihilate the readability and sentence build of this, so bear with me, or not. Whether you think I deserve what I want or not, I know I did. I'm not going to try and win anyone over by asking for your sympathy. I am simply telling you who I am. I am someone who suffers from anxiety and depression. You know, when you wake up and you can feel inside yourself that you are not having a good day already? Well, I wake up too sometimes like that. Only I wake up wondering why I even still wake up. I am someone who at most times feels a great disconnect with the entire universe and the people around me. I carry a flag inside my heart that is made up of music, equality, heartache, and perseverance. This title means more to me than so many of you will ever understand. This business means so much more than most people understand. It isn't something that I wanted to do as a hobby. I wanted this like nothing else in my life. Nothing mattered but this and accomplishing this. And each and every year I told myself it isn't going to get any better than this. And then each year for nearly 16 years long, it did. And here we are. Despite the long road, despite the anxiety, which can be crippling at times, despite the not always fun state of mind that I have, I am here. And the good thing is I feel I am far from done. This one wasn't just for myself, as cliche as that might sound. This one was truly for each and every person who thinks their situation or mental health is too severe to ever accomplish anything. I ask you please to prove the world, but mainly yourself, wrong and do what you want to do. I still remember hanging around the small venues, watching my friends play in their bands, and we would coherently trash the place, thinking, man, I hope I never lose this. I hope I never lose myself completely. Only to have found myself a lot more whole today. Thank you all for staying, even if only for a while. Thank you. Very powerful stuff, and that made me like the man 100 times more. Someone who has dealt with anxiety and depression as myself, I really latched on to what he said, and I sympathize with all those feelings. I had a day like that 2 days ago where I just woke up and shit went south quick, and I just had one of the worst days. And I have anxiety attacks regularly. Meeting new people, being put in stressful situations, and unexpected events can seem like an impending doom is just hanging over your head. And to see someone out there who acknowledges that in people who possess similar symptoms than him, that is excuse the noise here. I owe you guys a beer. People in that role who use their power to reach out to those who have the same symptoms, I appreciate that. A lot of people were giving Finn Balor bullshit for his entrance, having the LGBT community with him on stage and the rainbow colors. A lot of people were saying, we wanted the demon, not him on stage with a bunch of homos. Extremely disrespectful. So to see him representing that, to see Black here representing, a community of people who may suffer from mental health issues, that's fantastic. He deserves this belt. He earned it. And I'm happy for the guy. And that was the main event, but the show was not over yet. Unsanctioned. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. This story is one of the best built stories I have ever seen WWE produce since I've began watching them around WrestleMania 19. I think a lot of the slow burning feuds came back throughout that time, and maybe even prior to me watching. Of course, with the network, I've gone back and checked out all the Attitude Era Raws and things of that nature, but this story between Ciampa and Gargano, it's been built so well. There was a hiccup getting here with Ciampa's injury, but I think it was a blessing in disguise because the character work that Gargano went through up until this point, losing almost every match, and to coming back and being a top contender for a championship really gave him a lot of the confidence that he lost after being betrayed by his friend. And just when he thinks that, the monkey's off his back, boom, Ciampa comes back, nails him with a crutch, costs him the championship, and the rematch where Gargano put his career on the line against Almas for the championship, a crutch shot from Ciampa cost him his job. The build they've been doing on Twitter with Gargano showing up at Ciampa's house at 3 a.m, attacking him in the parking lot, showing up at his personal trainer's office, it's been great. It was nicely done. These two know each other very, very well. They were even able to use footage from Johnny Gargano's wedding here in this package. So I was very, very invested in this match going in. The entrances here were great. Ciampa came out to no music and chants of asshole, fuck you Ciampa, and a chorus of boos. The commentary team laid out, they didn't say a word, to let the heat resonate throughout the arena. That was a nice touch. The roar of the crowd when Johnny Gargano's music hit, coupled with his determined, serious face upon, his way to the ring, made for a big fight feel. The crowd started to chant, fuck him up, Johnny, fuck him up. These guys in New Orleans, this crowd was hot. They really gave this match a special touch. They added to it. A hockey fight started this match, and Johnny's rage was too much to combat here in the beginning. Ciampa found himself underneath a relentless shower of boots in the corner. He just stomped this man to death. I love the intensity here. The commentary team really emphasized the hatred these two have for another, along with the violent possibility that this match could conjure. On the outside, Johnny Gargano sends Ciampa into the crowd, but it backfires as he is pushed himself back first into the barricade. And Ciampa just violently clubs this guy on his back with his left and right, and the skin-on-skin pounding, giggity. It sounded rough. It was brutal. This guy was just waylaying this guy, haymakers to the back here. Ciampa goes to expose the concrete on the floor by removing a mat, and this was a bad omen here. It's bad foreshadowing. Gargano avoids the abuse that was to come here with a super kick to the face, and he sends Ciampa flying across the commentary desk to evoke a Mamma Mia chant from the crowd. That was so awesome. But this is where things got nasty, man. Gargano went to put Ciampa through the table. Ciampa somehow got the upper hand and did major damage to Johnny, suplexing him off the announce desk to the outside. Just the smack, it was cringeworthy, man. Ciampa then back suplexes Johnny onto the shield of the announcer's desk. That plastic-looking portion that they throw off. He set it up as it leaned against the table on the mat. Back suplex Johnny through it, and you saw the wood chipping off of it. Fuck you, Ciampa chants continued. Asshole chants continued here as he continued to meticulously stomp on the fingers and hands of Johnny, and he was really basking in the ambiance of the damage that he was inflicting. The psycho killer persona is perfect for Ciampa. He was playing that character well here in this match. Ciampa positioned Johnny onto the apron and just continuously stomped on the back of his neck, making the crowd even angrier. And then he is searching for something under the ring and around the ring, kind of asking the ref, did you move it? Where the hell did you put it? He looks into the crowd and he steals a pair of crutches from a fan. And yeah, it was a plant, but no one's really thinking about that. They went ahead and booed Ciampa here for his dastardly act. The crutch coming into play here is very symbolic. I love the fact that elements from the storyline are making a prop mean something. As I mentioned how the crutches were used to cost Johnny the title in his career, now it may cost him normal functionality of his body. Johnny swerved, ducked, dodged, jumped, and avoided all crutch attacks, and he laid out Ciampa with a very stiff, grounded rolling into gear. The little roll that he and Kalisto do into the kick. Bah, they nailed the guy in the head. Pretty good counter. Ciampa bought some time to recover from that kick, though, and he attempted to suplex Gargano from inside the ring to the concrete that was exposed on the outside. Johnny did get the upper hand, and he delivered a power bomb from the apron onto that concrete. And the smack, the visual of Ciampa bouncing his head off the concrete floor was so sickening. The thud made everyone in the arena cringe for a moment until the "You Deserve It" chants filled the arena. And there were a lot of great moments here in this match. It was so much fun to watch. I bet it was so fun to be there live. Johnny got possession of the crutch, and he went to beat the hell out of Ciampa with it. He attacked the midsection, the back, and the back of the injured knee that cost Ciampa about a year of his career. He sent Johnny to the outside after he took all this abuse, and Johnny held on to the crutch. Ciampa did not see this coming, and he ate a really stiff crutch shot to the top of his bald, big old head. Johnny then went ahead to expose the middle turnbuckle, and he went for the lawn dart, just tossing the guy face first into the corner. Well, that was countered. Ciampa continued to maintain the upper hand. He countered Johnny's slingshot spear with a vicious knee to the dome, and he hit a torture rack into a power bomb. That just looked impressive. To be able to set up a technical maneuver like that at this point in the match when these guys are just abusing each other with weapons, to pull out some quality wrestling in a hardcore setting like this, wow, that was a really impressive move. I'm really happy that these two got to shine here in this main event. The only mess up in this match, the only mess up is the reverse Rana that Johnny hit Ciampa with. Ciampa couldn't flip all the way over, so he kind of spiked his head onto the back of Johnny, but that's okay. The match began to wind down, and Ciampa took off his wrist tape, and he tried to use his wrist tape to bind himself to Johnny. He was originally going to go ahead and, like, I don't know, cover his mouth or wrap it around his neck or something, and who knows what sick violence Ciampa had going on in his head, but it was countered. They went punch for punch, blow for blow, until Ciampa went low and kicked Johnny in the ding-ding. He hit Johnny with a crutch shot, and then hit a lung blower power bomb for the most dramatic near fall of the entire evening. Johnny just won't die here. Now, Ciampa won't die. Johnny came back, got the upper hand, and he successfully hit the lawn dart toss into the middle turnbuckle, followed by a series of stiff slaps and super kicks for another dramatic near fall. There was a point in the match where Johnny just went to slap Ciampa again and again, just holding on to his beard. Ciampa did the same thing to Johnny, just slapping the guy, punching him, and these two really have to be tight with one another to slap and abuse one another like this. Jeez, but the last 10 minutes of this show are something very, very special. Ciampa removes his knee brace, and he goes for another knee strike until Johnny is able to grab it and lay him out as he runs at him, takes the brace, whacks him in the knee with it, and Ciampa goes ass over tea kettle, just lays out on the mat. Gargano notices the crutch is not too far from him, and he breaks it in the corner and creates a sharp edge with it. He was going to stab Ciampa with this crutch. I never thought I'd hear Mauro say, oh my God, he was gonna stab him with that. But Gargano, being the kind-hearted guy that he is, he showed mercy. He stopped in his tracks and did not stab Ciampa with the crutch. Ciampa cowered in fear, sat on the mat and was kind of, had the expression that he was tired of getting his ass whooped, and he was giving in to whatever empathy or sympathy that Gargano was going to offer at this point. It looked like Gargano was going to sit next to Ciampa as they've sat together in the middle of the ring before. I believe they've had losses. They sat next to each other, and Ciampa would grab Johnny and put his head on his shoulder. I just remember that visual of them sitting in the ring quite well, and we had it here at the end of this match. You think that Johnny is giving in and he's going to be tricked by Ciampa. Ciampa went for a sucker punch with his metal knee brace. Johnny dodged it, got the Gargano escape locked in. Gargano actually grabbed the knee brace and wrapped it around the face of Ciampa to make the submission move even more brutal. And Ciampa taps out. What a happy ending to a story that took over a year to build, and I'm very happy that these guys had an A+ match here. It was incredible. It was great. I would show this match and the latter match to anyone who is not a wrestling fan or to someone who is a casual wrestling fan, because it just about has every element that we like. The drama, the in-ring action, the shockers, the unpredictability, everything was here. There are no words. really, to describe this match, but I'm very happy that I got to witness it. So what did you guys think? Did you like Takeover New Orleans? Do you disagree with some of the thoughts that I gave for any of these matches? Do you disagree with any of the finishes that WWE gave us with Takeover? My personal opinion, I think all they did here tonight, it was perfect. It was fine. When you look at WrestleMania and the mistakes they made, the lessons they could have learned from such a simple show with storylines that started out with, a simple reason. New title, 6-man ladder match for the title. Let's get that going. Shayna Baszler's a bully. She wanted the title, wanted to skip the line, and she kind of did. She disrespected just about everyone to get there, but she got the champion's attention and got the gold. The Dusty Classic was a great tournament, phenomenal tournament, and the story coming out of it, Roderick Strong's heel turn, he made his way to the finals, so that cup belongs to him. The Undisputed Era, they need to be built well as a stable. So them winning that tag team championship match, great decision. Aleister Black is the top guy in NXT right now. He is very cool. He has the look. He has the appeal. He's an attractive guy. He can work very well in the ring. Nothing bad about Aleister. He's so damn cool. I can't wait to see the guy up on the main roster. As well as Andrade. Andrade had a fantastic match as well. Him being a loser, party boy, winning the title and having such a great match here. Maybe one of the highlighted matches of WrestleMania weekend. Nothing to be ashamed of at all. And this storyline here, two best friends broken up over jealousy, broken up over someone just kind of losing their shit and not really thinking clearly. It led to a fantastic match. And this show overall gets an A+ from me. I love Takeover New Orleans. I love NXT, and I'm very happy that I got to give a positive review here for the show. I am going to go back and look at a thread that I posted. A lot of people here on the RWT page had a lot to say, so let's get to it. All right, our boy Moses Marquez says that WrestleMania could have learned simplicity from NXT. They had big matches with the goal in mind. We didn't need swerves. We just needed good storytelling in that ring. And NXT, like always, delivered that. 100% agree with you. It was simplicity. I told you in a few sentences why each match happened. I don't think I could do that for the 36 matches that occurred on WrestleMania. Where does Gargano go from here, though? That's what our fearless leader Emir asked. And that's a great question. Do you have him go up against Aleister Black? Do you have him challenge for the NXT Championship right away? I don't think so. What about what Ciampa does? Where's Ciampa going to go from here? It's kind of hard. I mean, the great thing is we have a brand new secondary title for these guys to aim for. But with Gargano getting the victory here on the show, I feel like it would make sense for him to be positioned to challenge Adam Cole for the North American Championship. Hell, we'll get to see Gargano against Roderick Strong. We'll get to see Gargano against Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. But as far as Ciampa goes, NXT is in possession of a great heel. They can do a lot of phenomenal things with him. The main roster is hurting for heels right now, so even if he doesn't stay for very long, Ciampa, Gargano are both made men. They're both high caliber, single superstars at this point, and I'm happy. Final question. Who is next in line for Aleister Black? Moses Marquez gave me 3 options here. Cole, Dream, Sullivan. That's a good question. I think with his performance here in this ladder match, I feel that they are going to position Lars to be the next challenger for the NXT Championship. They've invested production into his entrance. They've invested a lot of time into backstage promos. They're trying to get him to be unique with the way he delivers messages. I haven't seen anyone who looks like him before. He's had a great short history here in NXT as far as his dominance goes. He's had great matches with Cassius Ohno, great matches with Roderick Strong. The matches he's had with Killian Dane, the short, brief moments where they've collided, I think they should have a rematch because that non-finish they had last week was criminal. They can have a better match than that. Anywho, I think it is time. I think he's ready. I believe they believe that he is ready to challenge for the NXT Championship and that he is ready to be put in a prominent spot. He needs to challenge for the title or get moved to the main roster right now. He's good. He's ready. He's ready to go. There's not a lot wrong with him. There's not a lot that he needs to correct. All that experience comes on the road, I'm sure. All that experience comes from being put in those spots. And I think that having a shot at the NXT Championship will be a great test to see if he is in fact ready to go up to Raw or SmackDown. But after the championship match that Lars is unsuccessful in, I will say that if he does challenge, he will not win the title. He needs to move up. He's ready to go. But there you have it. If you made it here to the end of the show, I really appreciate you sticking around and taking the time to listen to me yap on about some wrestling. But this wrestling was the best wrestling. And I really am happy to be a wrestling fan at this point in time. I think that we're along for a great ride this year. And so are you. This year in the RWT page, there are a lot of great things happening. Our fearless leader, Emir, has landed an interview with the first UFC fighter who handed CM Punk his first loss in the octagon. That's right, Emir has an interview with Mickey Gall coming up soon. That's coming down the pipes. We have season 2 of all of our favorite shows coming back. We have Smack Talks still here on the airwaves. Moses Marquez had a fantastic rant about WrestleMania you guys need to go check out. Some new content, perhaps, maybe the RWT podcast. We can see that regularly, I believe. And you'll see myself, Moses, potentially some new faces all over the airwaves. So I'm very excited for this year, excited to talk great wrestling, and excited to reach out, communicate, discuss, and meet all of you beautiful people. All right, so I've been your host for Whenxt, Brian Green. Thank you for checking me out. Have a great day, and I will catch you guys next time. Adios.